100 rocks were flipped in the desert. Here's what was found. 100 rocks got flipped across 5 deserts on 5 different continents. And along the way, we meet weird-looking, strange, and venomous animals, some capable of killing hundreds of people with a single bite. And stick around for this one. You'll see what's considered one of the most dangerous scorpions on Earth. One that, if you shine a UV flashlight on it at night, glows a bright, eerie green. That's coming later. Now our journey starts in the Australian outback. Quick geography check first. The outback is the vast, dry interior covering most of the Australian continent, stretching across huge stretches of Western Australia, the Northern Territory, and Queensland. Rock number 1 has a trapdoor spider underneath it. Except technically, the rock wasn't hiding it. The spider was hiding under its own tiny hinged door made of silk and sand, built to blend so perfectly into the ground that you could walk directly over one and never notice. Rocks 2 through 6 turned up nothing but a few wood cockroaches and one extremely unbothered dung beetle that didn't even flinch when the rock came off. Rock 19 was sitting over a shallow sand tunnel, and this one had a marsupial mole underneath, blind, with backward-facing pouches so they don't fill with sand while digging, essentially swimming through loose desert sand. Rocks 20 through 29 were mostly quiet, aside from a lone huntsman spider that darted off before the camera could even focus, and a small trail of meat ants marching in a perfectly straight line toward nothing anyone could identify. Rock 31 has a thorny devil hiding beneath it, its entire body covered in defensive spines, but with a party trick that sounds made up and isn't. It can drink water through its own skin. Grooves between its scales use capillary action to pull moisture from damp sand or even a single dewdrop anywhere on its body, channeling it straight to its mouth. And now, Rock 39, the one from the start of this video. Underneath it, an inland taipan, widely considered the most venomous snake on Earth based on venom toxicity. A single bite contains enough venom to theoretically kill over 100 adult humans. Thankfully, it's shy, remote, and rarely encountered, which is probably the only reason its bite count on humans stays close to 0. A genuinely tense way to close out the outback, the Namib Desert. Moving to the Namib Desert, a narrow strip running along Namibia's Atlantic coast in southern Africa. It's considered one of the oldest deserts on the planet, and one of the driest. Parts of it can go over a year without a single drop of rain. So how does anything survive out here at all? Rock 42 has the answer, and it might be the single coolest survival trick in this entire video: a darkling beetle. Every morning, it climbs to the top of a sand dune, tilts its body straight into the wind, and lets fog condense into water droplets directly on the tiny bumps covering its back. The droplets roll down a channel straight into its mouth. This beetle built its own personal water bottle out of its own exoskeleton. Rocks 43 through 45 were quiet, just a couple of tenebrianid beetle tracks in the sand, and the beetle itself long gone by the time the camera caught up. Rock 46 was resting right on top of a shallow sand tunnel, and underneath it, something you'd never expect to find with your eyes, because this animal doesn't have functioning eyes at all. A Namib golden mole, completely blind, spends its life swimming just beneath the sand's surface, hunting termites purely by feeling vibrations through the ground. Rock 50 has a wheel spider underneath, and when this thing senses a predator, it doesn't run. It tucks its legs in and literally cartwheels down the sand dune, sometimes flipping over 40 times per second, just to escape as fast as physically possible. And Rock 53 turns up a purring gaze adder, a small venomous snake that buries itself almost entirely in the sand and moves sideways across dunes, using the exact same sidewinding motion we're about to see again in the Mojave. Evolved completely independently on the opposite side of the planet to solve the exact same hot sand problem. The Mojave Desert. Over in the Mojave, in the southwestern United States, spanning parts of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, Rock 58 turns up a sidewinder rattlesnake. Watch the way it actually moves, not forward like a normal snake, but throwing its body sideways in a rolling, looping motion, keeping far less of its body touching the blistering sand at any given moment, which matters enormously when the ground can get hot enough to injure the snake itself. Rocks 59 and 60 had nothing but a couple of harvester ant trails and an old empty scorpion burrow with nobody currently home. Rock 62 has a tarantula hawk wasp resting under it, and this insect delivers what's widely considered one of the most painful stings of any insect on Earth. Powerful enough that entomologists who study pain intensity recommend, and this is a real quote from the guy who ranks these things, simply lying down and screaming until it passes. It hunts tarantulas specifically, paralyzes them with that sting, and lays a single egg inside the still living spider. Rock 66 has a horned lizard underneath, and this one has maybe the single most bizarre defense mechanism on this entire list. When a predator gets too close, it can shoot a stream of blood directly out of its own eyes, aimed right at the threat, containing a chemical that tastes genuinely awful to canine predators. Rocks 67 and 68 turned up only a sun-bleached beetle shell and a single very startled cricket that leapt directly off camera and was never seen again. Rock 69 has a western banded gecko tucked underneath, one of the most common creatures found hiding under desert rocks and debris. Unlike most desert reptiles, it's almost entirely nocturnal, spending the entire day pressed flat under exactly this kind of cover to escape the heat, only coming out to hunt once the sand starts cooling down. The Sahara Desert. Back to the Sahara, which stretches across the entire top third of Africa, covering huge parts of Algeria, Libya, Egypt, and several neighboring countries. It's the largest hot desert on the planet, roughly the size of the entire United States. Rock 74 has something moving fast across the sand underneath it, a Saharan silver ant, one of the most heat-tolerant animals on the entire planet. These ants forage during the hottest part of the day, when ground temperatures can pass 60 degrees Celsius, specifically because it's too hot out there for the predators that would normally eat them. They can only survive out in the open for a few minutes at a time before they have to dive back under cover. Rocks 75 through 77 turn up nothing but a couple of ordinary darkling beetles, and one very unimpressed pill millipede that immediately curled into a ball and refused to do anything else for the camera. Rock 79 turns up a fringe-toed lizard. Watch what happens when it feels threatened. It doesn't run away across the sand, it dives straight into it and disappears, literally swimming beneath the surface. Fringed scales on its toes give it traction, and special valves in its nostrils seal shut so it doesn't inhale sand while submerged. Rocks 80 through 82 are mostly empty, aside from a lone dung beetle rolling a ball roughly 4 times its own size, and a small colony of harvester ants that scattered the second the light hit them. Rock 84 has a Saharan horned viper coiled beneath it, easily recognizable by the 2 small horn-like scales above its eyes. It buries itself just beneath the surface with only its eyes and horns poking out, ambushing anything that wanders too close. Nearby, Rock 87 turns up a camel spider. Despite the name, neither a camel nor technically a spider, with jaws so oversized relative to its body that early explorers spread rumors these things could chase down prey twice their size. The jaws alone make it look like it should be possible. And the last rock of the Sahara section, Rock 90, is where things get genuinely dramatic. This one turns up a deathstalker scorpion, considered one of the most dangerous scorpions on Earth. Its venom is powerful enough to cause serious pain and, in rare cases, be life-threatening to children or people with health conditions. Shine a UV flashlight on this thing at night, and its whole body glows a bright, eerie green, which makes it far easier to spot once the sun goes down. A genuinely unsettling way to close out the Sahara. The Gobi Desert. And finally, the Gobi Desert, spanning southern Mongolia and northern China. Rock 91 has a Gobi jerboa sheltering underneath it, tucked flat against the cool ground to escape the afternoon heat. Technically a rodent, but with back legs so disproportionately long, it hops around more like a tiny kangaroo than a mouse once it does come out to move. Rocks 92 and 93 had nothing but a couple of darkling beetle tracks and a lizard that bolted so fast it was gone before the camera even focused. Rock 94 has a toad-headed agama buried just beneath the surface, only its eyes poking out, using the exact same ambush strategy as that horned viper back in the Sahara. And now, coming into the final stretch, Rock 97 turns up a Gobi Desert scorpion, pale and almost sandy-colored to match the ground perfectly, tail curled up and ready the instant the rock lifted. And the very last rock, Rock 100, because there's always something good waiting on the final flip, turns up a Gobi Desert monitor, a slow, patient reptile that spends most of the day underground, avoiding the heat entirely, only coming out during the cooler hours to hunt. After everything else on this list evolved wild, elaborate tricks just to survive out here, this one's strategy is refreshingly simple. Wait it out, underground, until the world gets slightly less unbearable. Final thoughts. 5 deserts, thousands of miles apart, and every single one of them turned out to be secretly packed with life the whole time. A scorpion that glows neon green under UV light, 2 completely unrelated blind mammals on opposite sides of the planet that independently evolved to swim through sand, a lizard that shoots blood out of its own eyes, and a snake venomous enough to end this whole video early if anyone had been careless enough to get close. Let us know in the comments which desert animals surprised you the most, and if you want a part 2 covering the Atacama and the Kalahari next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.